There's an information booth in the foyer of the auditorium. We ask that all children sit with their parents for this performance at all times. We will be serving refreshments at our 10-minute intermission. And Melinda Wilson was accidentally left out of the program, and she will be playing a townsperson. Thank you, and sit back and enjoy the music.
Credit's no good for a notion salesman.
Why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an anvil salesman. Does your firm give credit?
No, sir.
Or anybody else?
River City next.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton rooks. Cash for the hard goods.
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods.
Cash for the noggins and the piggins and the firkins.
Cash for the hog-shaped cascan demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the flypaper.
Look, what do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it?
What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk. You can bigger, you can talk. You can bigger, bigger, bigger. You can talk, you can talk. Talk, 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 talk. Bigger, bigger, bigger. You can talk. All you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
What's the Maltese water? Trouble where the people want to go. Want to get up and go. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles. Can I see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Who's gonna patronize a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore? Gone.
Gone with the hog test, cascade, demijohn. Gone with the sugar barrel, pickle barrel, milk bin. Gone with a tub and a pail and a dare.
Ever heard a fella by the name of Hill?
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 No!
Just a minute.
Never heard of any salesman, Bill.
Now he doesn't know the territory.
Doesn't know the territory.
That's the fellow's line. Never worries about his line.
Never worries about flying.
For a cracker barrel beaten off sleep. For the you need a biscuit and airtight sanitary package. A Model T4. Just a minute. Never worries about his line.
Never worries about line.
For his doggone thing. He's just a bang beat bell when the big hog big gold record over rip roaring every time a bullseye sells. That's Professor Harold Hill.
Tell the glass, the glass.
He's a fake and he doesn't know the
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
He's a music man. He's a what? He's a music man. And he sells clarinets. The kids in the town with the big trombones and the rat-a-tat-tat and the big brass face, and the piccolo, the uniforms too, with the shiny gold braid on the coat, and the big red stripe for the jump side.
Well, I don't know much about bands, but I do know you can't make a living selling big trombones and rat-a-tat drums. No, sir, mandolin picks brass. Here and there too, sir.
No, the fella sells bands. Paulie's bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers and he plucks and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly, boys, what else? I please him. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly, always, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, we're past the state line into Iowa. River City, population 2,212. River City, cigarettes are legal in this state, but...
After you're all through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill. You really know Harold Hill? Never met him before in my life, but I know this much. He's given every one of us a black eye. After he's worked over at town, the next salesman to come through automatically gets tarred and feathered and rode out of town on rail. You think it's funny? Well, wait until it happens to you. Your hair never grows back.
But why should he get ridden out on rail?
Because in order to sell band instruments and instruction books and uniforms, he guarantees the kids to play.
Well?
And to form their kid to do a band with himself as the leader.
What's the matter with that?
He can't tell one note from another, that's what's wrong with that. He can't tell the difference between a bass drum and a pipe organ. I'll catch up with that swiddle and two-bit bringer, and when I do...
Wow, Charlie, you're mad. I'd love to be there when you catch up with that fella.
I won't be on this trip. Not in Iowa. Even the great Professor Harold Hill wasn't trying to sell them neckboat Hawkeyes out here.
Gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll have to give Iowa a try.
I don't believe I caught your name.
I don't believe I dropped it.
Drawers all day.
And there I was in the Man CYT Hospital and nobody come to see me. Cousin will never come, Aunt Bertha never come. But your Aunt Bertha is dead. She wouldn't have come anyway.
We can be cold as a falling thermometer in December if you ask about our weather in July. And we're so doggone stubborn we can stand at your nose for a week at a time and let the ice fly. But we'll give you our shirt and a plan to go with it. If your cross should happen to die.
So what the heck? You're welcome. Glad to have you with us, even though we may not ever mention it again.
You really ought to get Iowa. Iowa. You do Des Moines, Democrat, Marshtown, Bay City, Kingdom, Rains, Clearway. Ought to give Iowa a try.
Mr. Squires, I'd be interested in a rig for Sunday if you could accommodate me.
Then I expect you all to see the man in charge of hiring, who's late, as usual.
Oh, hey, Gregory!
Marcellus?
Greg, what the name? But Greg!
Professor Hill's the name. Harold Hill.
But Greg, why didn't you tell me you was coming?
Well, I didn't know I was myself. Besides, how was I supposed to know you didn't have a little tank town like this? You were a pretty big slicker when you were in the business with me.
Too many close shaves the way you were. Besides, I got me a nice, comfortable girl, Ethel Toffmeyer. The bosses and these.
Gone legitimate, huh? Oh, I knew you'd come to no good.
Hey, what's the new pitch? Oh, you're not back in the band business. I heard you was in steam automobiles.
I was.
Well, what happened?
Somebody actually invented one. Give me the lowdown here, Mars.
Oh, Greg, you'll never get anywhere in the band business with these stubborn Iowans. Well, besides, we got a stuck-up music teacher who'll expose you before you get your grip unpacked.
Male or female?
The music teacher? She's a librarian, so she's female.
Perfect, just what I wanted to hear. Point her out to me if she comes by.
Okay, I will. How you gonna start the pitch?
Same old way. Keep your music teacher off balance, and then my next step is to get your town out of the serious trouble that it's in.
Well, River City isn't in any trouble.
Then we'll have to create some. I have to create a desperate need for a boys' band. You remember, what's new around here? What can I use?
Oh, nothing. Oh, except the billiard parlor's just put in a new pool table.
They've never seen a pool table before.
No, only billiards.
That'll do. See you later, Mr. Washburn. Oh, and remember, music teacher.
Music teacher.
Go on, Mr. Dunlap.
Yeah?
Either you're closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you are not aware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friends.
Where?
Right here, I say. Trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a bigger player. Certainly mighty proud to say I'm always mighty proud to say it.
What?
I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are gold. Help cultivate horse sense and a cool head and a keen eye. Did you ever take a try and give an ironclad lead to yourself from a three-rail billiard shot? No. But just as I say, take judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a ball-blind game, I say that any boom can take and shove a ball in a pocket. And I call that flaw the first big step on the road to the depths of degradation. I say first, medicinal wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. Now the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pitchback suit. And listening to some big out-of-town Jasper here and tell about horse race gambling. Not a wholesome trot race, no, but a race where they sit down right on the horse. Like to see some stuck-up jockey boy sitting on damn patch, make your blood boil, well I should say. Now friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets at a table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum, with a capital B in that rhymes with B and that stands for pool. And all week long your River City youth will be frittering away. I say your young men will be frittering. Frittering away their noontime, summertime, chore time too. Get the ball in the pocket, never mind getting dandelions pulled with a screen door patch to the music bound. Never mind pumping any water to your parents are caught with a cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's a trouble. Yes, you got lots and lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the knickerbocker shirt-tailed young ones peeking in the pool when we got trouble. Folks right here in River City. Trouble with a capital T and that rhymes with B and that stands for pool. Now I know all you folks are the right kind of parents, and I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on when they're loafing around that hall? They try out people, trying out Cuba, trying out tailor made like cigarette fiends, and bragging all about how they're gonna cover up a telltale breath with sense. And one fine night, they leave the pool hall, headed for the dance of the army, libertine men, scarlet women, ragtime, shameless music that'll grab your son, your daughter, to the arms of the jungle, animal instinct, mass hysteria, friends, the idle brain of the devil's playground trouble.
Holy
River City,
right here in the
with a
city.
capital T and that rhymes with B and that stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
We surely got trouble. Right here in River City. Remember the Maine, Plymouth Rock, and the Golden Rule.
Our children that have
Mothers of River City, heed that warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The minute your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the corn crevice? Is he starting to memorize jokes from Captain Billy's whiz bang? Are certain words creeping into his conversation? Words like, swell, and so's your old man. Well, if so, my friends, you got trouble.
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here in River City.
Right here in River City.
Capital T and that rhymes with B and that stands for pool.
That stands for pool.
We surely got trouble.
We surely got trouble.
Right here in River City. Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones moral after school.
Our children that have
Oh, we got trouble. We're in terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15 number balls is the devil's tool.
Devil's tool.
We got trouble, trouble, trouble.
It's got trouble here. We got big, big trouble.
P.
Capital T.
That rhymes with P.
That rhymes with P.
And that stands for pool.
That stands for
Didn't you drop your
No.
Say, didn't I meet you in,
No.
I'll only be in town a short while.
Good. Back to you,
Mary. Now your exercises.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't remember the library being open last 4th of July.
It was, Mama, all evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh? Who?
I've never seen him before.
Well, did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. Now don't dawdle, Amaryllis. So do-la-re to me a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can. Now don't get faster, dear.
If you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted, Mama.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Well, excuse me for living, but I never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town.
There you go again with that same old comment about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart.
Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library was entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice.
But darling, when a woman's got a husband and you've got none, why should she take advice from you? Even though you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all those other highfalutin Greeks.
Now, Mama, if you don't mind my saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject.
No, I haven't changed the subject. I was talking about that stranger.
What stranger?
With the suitcase who made me our very last chance.
Mama, do you think I'd allow a common masher now? Really, Mama, I have my standards where men are concerned, and I have no intention.
I know all about your standards. If you don't mind my saying so, there's not a man alive who can hope to measure up to your blend of Paul Fun and St. Casanova Webster you concocted for yourself out of your Irish imagination, your Iowa stubbornness, and your library full of books.
That isn't the best I've ever heard.
Thank you. Can I have a drink, please?
May I have
May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear.
Winthrop, where have you been? Is that any way to walk in the house?
Hello.
That won't do at all. I'll have a kiss for my boy. Oh, that young lady over there's your sister.
Hello, Winthrop.
Winthrop, where's your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I'd especially like it very much if you'd come. Winthrop!
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis has asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name?
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S. Because of his lisp. He's ashamed.
We know all about his lisp, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop?
I'll bet he won't say it. They'll think Amaryllis. Amaryllis! Amaryllis! He's crazy. Why does he get so mad at people just because he lisps?
It's not only because he lives in Amaryllis. Well, that's just part of it.
What's the other part?
Never mind, dear. It's just that he never talks very much.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, we've all got to try and be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me, but I do him. Every night I say goodnight to him on the evening star. You have to do it the very second you see it too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night, sleep tight.
Oh, there, dear, don't cry. Well, if not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never all them end up an old maid like you. I'm sorry, Miss Marion. Can I play my cross-hand?
May I play mine?
May I play my cross-hand, please?
You
See, but that's a sweetheart when you have no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know, Amaryllis. But for the time being, just say goodnight, my someone. Well, you can put the name in when the right someone comes along.
All right, it's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your crosshead piece.
Now I may play my cross-hand.
I welcome you, river citizens, to the 4th of July exercises. Set it for the indoors here in Madison Gymnasium. Count the weather. Score, and... The school board will now present a patriotic tableau. Oh, the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Watanye girls of the local wigwam of Hiawatha will present a spectacle, My Wife, in which my wife, Eulalie McCacknishin, will take a leading part. Mrs. Shin will recover. No offense to a certain young ruffian who is a disgrace to this city. 7. The Payne's fireworks spectacle, last days of Pompeii, will take place providing the rain stops by 9:30. It'll be out to Madison Picnic Park in the far meadow across the creek from the pest house.
How can it be raining? Didn't the Gazette predict fair?
Sure did, Rick. That's why we're prepared for a storm.
Now, the Gazette is accurate most of the time, and you know it, JC.
You wouldn't last very long in the banking business being accurate most of the time.
Order!
Number 8 steady keeps tonight.
I'm Baker early.
He's playing all right.
He's right on time. Smatters your watches.
You see this right
Well, you members of the school board, stop bickering in public.
Now, all in the world that I said was that...
Never mind. 4 score and...
We heard there's a pool table in town.
Just a minute here.
The pool table visited.
Will you allow me to get on with the exercises?
We'll have no more exercises here until we settle this pool table matter.
Protect our children. Resist sin and corruption. Smite the devil and keep our young boys pure. Please, friends, may I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with this trouble of friends with a wave my hand, this very hand. Please observe me if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize a River City Boys band. Oh, think, my friends, how could any pool table ever hope to compete with a gold trombone? Ra-da-ra-da-da-ra-da-da. Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous fabled balls of Jericho. Oh, billiard parlor balls come a-tumbling down. Oh, a band will do it, my friends. Oh, yes, it's our boys' band, do you hear me? Said River City's got to have a boys' band, and I mean she needs it today. Well, Professor Harold Hill's on hand. River City's gonna have her boys' band, as sure as the Lord made little green apples. And that band's gonna be in uniform. Johnny, Willie, Teddy, Fred. And you'll see the glitter of crashing cymbals. And you'll hear the thunder of rolling drums. The shimmer of trumpets. Ta-ta-da! And you'll feel something akin to the electric feel I once enjoyed when Gilmore, Liberati, Pat Conway, the great creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 110 cornets lead the way. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. Copper bottom, timpani, and horse platoon, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double bell, euphoniums, and big bassoons. Each bassoon having its big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery. Thundering, thundering, louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters would improvise a full octave higher than the score.
Man, this calls for emergency attention. That man's a spellbinder. I haven't seen Iowa people get so excited since the night Frank Gotch and Strangler Lewis lay on the mat for 3.5 hours without moving a muscle. Never mind, I want his credentials. Grab that hoodlum! Yellow split, Mrs. Shan.
Chili Clyde, let me go!
You wild kid, ya, hanging around my oldest girl. His father's one of them day laborers down south of town. You wild kid, ya, tagging down Main Street after my oldest girl last Sunday.
I wasn't either tagging.
Don't you contradict me.
We was just walking together. Chili Clyde.
You watch your phraseology. I know what you're doing. My little Grace has seen ya. Now you stay away from my oldest girl, or you'll hear from me till who laid the rails. Hell, I'll talk to you Monday morning about this band thing. Over at City Hall, 10 o'clock sharp. Man, I want that spellbinder's credentials.
Constable, I'll be responsible for the boy.
You don't know this kid, sir. He's real tough when he's got his gang waiting outside.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I'd like to talk to you about the band.
Aw, gee, Professor, that's for little kids.
Well, I'm not talking about you being in the band. You're mechanically minded, aren't you? Do you ever do anything with perpetual motion?
Nearly had it a couple of times.
You did? Well, you're my man. Do you realize that nobody has ever invented a music holder for a marching piccolo player? No place to hold the music.
Chili Clyde, I wonder where I can get some wire.
Look in your cellar. That's where people usually keep wire. Oh, Tommy.
Yes, sir?
Now, Constable, I'll show you how to break up a gang. Excuse me, miss. Miss, what's your name?
Zanita, I didn't have any idea he was beckoning to me. Egad!
Zanita, do you know Tommy Gilas?
Well,
Tommy, this is Zanita. Escort the young lady home.
only accepting I'm not going home. I have to go to the library. Egad!
Then escort the young lady home by way of the library. By way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
You'll have to.
Yes, sir.
Egad!
Professor, you look like a pretty bright young fellow, but you did make a couple of mistakes.
Oh?
The mayor just happens to own the billiard hall that's putting in the new pool table.
What was my other mistake?
That's Anita. She's the mayor's oldest girl.
Just a minute, Professor Hill. We need your credentials. We're the school board.
Academic certificates.
Nothing of the kind.
We need letters and papers.
Make her put up a bond.
Wait a minute. What am I hearing? You, sir, say ice cream.
Well, ice cream, but I don't sing, if that's what you mean.
All right, then. Talk low. Down here.
Ice cream.
Talk slow.
Ice cream.
You see? Singing is only sustained talking. Now you, sir.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir, right here.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir.
Ice cream.
Ladies, from now on, you'll never see one of these men without the other three.
Professor, you're wrong. Why, they've hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream. Alone or anything. I have some wonderful caramels over at the hotel.
Hill.
Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what college did we give a degree for annoying women on the street? Like a Saturday night rowdy in a public dance hall.
Why wouldn't know? I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary Conservatory Gold Medal Class of Lot 5.
Even so that happened to be true, does that give you the right to follow me wherever I go? And another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as some people in this town. And I think it only fair to warn you that I have a shelf full of reference books in there, which may very well give you some interesting information about you.
Hey, Greg!
Oh, hi, Marson. Don't call me Greg.
Oh, how'd you make out with that music teacher?
Scrumptious. 8 out of my hand the second I tipped my hat.
She did? Boy, did you cut a swap tonight. For a minute, even I thought you knew something about leading a band. Just like when you used to imitate that band concert fellow back in Joplin.
Ah, kid stuff. I'm in rare form these days, son. You just keep your eye on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? But it used to only take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
Still does. Takes 4 weeks for the uniforms.
Oh, no, Greg, you haven't had uniforms.
Uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books, but you can't pass off as a music professor. I mean, not for any 4 weeks.
Mars.
But, Greg, you don't know one note from another.
I have a revolutionary new method. It's called the think system. It's where you don't bother with notes.
But in 4 weeks, the people will want to hear music, and you'll have to lead a band.
But by then, the uniforms arrive and they forget everything else. At least long enough for me to collect my money and leave. Oh, this is a refined operation, son. I've got it timed right down to the last wave of the brakeman's hand on the last train out of town. Now, if you'll excuse me, Mr. Washburn.
Gonna line yourself some canoodling up?
Well,
say, I could introduce you to Ethel's sister. She's a lovely girl. She teaches Sunday school and
no wide-eyed, eager, innocent Sunday school teacher for me.
Oh, Professor Hill, we're on a gog. Simply a gog.
On the cue, Viv!
Everyone is so excited about the band.
I'm Ethel Toffemeyer, the pianola girl.
And this is Mr. Squires and Mrs. Hicks. And of course, you've met Eulalie McCartney-Shin. Oh, there's what? Isn't it exciting, Eulalie?
Oh, I could not say. Oh, no, I couldn't say. I simply could not say at this time. My husband will wish to investigate, I'm sure. And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh, yes, I'm reticent.
Well, of course, Mrs. Shin. That's why part of my plans include the committee on the dance and
Dance you.
Oh, no. Your foot. The way you moved it just now.
Well, I have a bunion there that bothers, and it hurts.
What grace. What natural flow of rhythm. What expression of line and movement.
Mr. Hill!
Oh, you must accept the chairmanship of the Ladies' Auxiliary for the classic dance. Mustn't she, ladies? Oh, why, Mrs. Shin. Every move you make beseems Delsart. Say you will accept. Say yes.
Eulalie McCartney-Shin. Why? Dancing?
Then you accept.
Yes, I would like to say.
Thank you very much. And now the young lady who plays piano. Miss Marion Peru, I believe. Well, after all, she is the librarian.
Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot, pick a little more, pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 Professor, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a lot. Of course, I pick a little, good, can't forget to do it.
Dirty books.
And the worst thing is, of course, I should tell you this.
Let me down.
Stop! I'll tell. She made brave and air chairs to a man who didn't have a friend in this town until she came. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison, Madison Gymnasium, Madison Picnic Park, Madison Public High School. That's Miser Madison?
Exactly. Who did he think it was, anyway?
Well, I should say, show off. He gave the town a library, too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city.
But he left all the books to her. She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh, yes, that woman made great hair of it all. Let her take that in here. The good England, why the so good gypsy attack the queen? Just build her down and you will deal and jump the dead as soon as in here. But a woman's watch.
Library building back in London, all the books to
Yes, I have just put you on over at my hotel. Come with me. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. We're going to leave you now. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. Farewell, ladies. We're going to leave you now. It's all right, I know everything and it doesn't make any difference.
What are you talking about?
You are probably very young and anyone can make a mistake.
What?
No apologies, no explanations. I'll only be in town a short while and the sadder but wiser girl for me.
Will you please make your selection and leave?
I have.
Well, what do you want to take out?
The librarian.
Quiet, please.
You're not listening, Marion. Look. Marion. Marbles. 6 Steelies, 8 Aggies, a dozen Pee-wees, and one big glassy with the American flag in the middle. I think I'll drop them.
No!
Madam Librarian. What can I do, my dear, to make it clear? I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian. Marion, heaven help us if the library caught on fire and the volunteer hose brigade men had to whisper the news to Marion. Madam Librarian. What can I say, my dear, to make it clear? I need you badly, badly, Madam Librarian. Marion, if I stumbled and I busted my whatchamacallit, I could lie on your floor unnoticed till my body had turned to Marion. Madam Librarian. Now in moonlight, a man could sing it in the moonlight. And a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song in the moonlight, helping along. But when I tried in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian, Marian, it's a long lost cause I could never win. For the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin any talking out loud with that librarian, such as Marian. Madam Librarian. But when I tried in here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, Madam Librarian, Marian, it's a long lost cause I could never win. For the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin any talking out loud with any librarian, such as Marian. Madam Librarian. The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights in the high school. Had a pretty good morning so far. 11 sales out of 12 tries. Look, it's almost noon. Why don't you go home and get some supper? I'll try a couple on my own.
Yes, sir. Goodbye, Professor.
Oh, thanks a lot, Tommy.
Just a minute here. Are you soliciting? You haven't got a license. Why haven't you been down City Hall with your references?
I just missed you, Mr. Mayor. Oh, no.
What? What?
It's the spread of your little finger. It's hereditary.
What does that mean?
It means that your boy's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on a B-flat fugal horn.
Is that good?
Good. It means that America has at last produced an artist who can fugle the minute waltz in 50 seconds.
How can I get one of those horns?
Just sign right here, Mr. Mayor. Fine, fine. That'll be $17 import fees.
Yes, sir. Just think, I could have missed the whole... I haven't got any, son.
Oh.
You unscrupulous fly-by-night, you unflibulous. You'll be down City Hall by 3 o'clock.
You mean this afternoon?
I couldn't make myself any plainer if I was a Quaker on his day off.
Mrs. Peru, do you realize that you have the facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso?
Well, I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
It means that if your boy has that same firm chin, those splendid cheek muscles, by George. Well, not that he could ever be great, you understand.
Oh, is that so? Well, in the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Well, all really great cornet players were Irish. O. Clark, O. Mendez, O.
Oh, but
Klein.
Professor, we are Irish.
No, really? That clinches it. Your boy was born to play the cornet. Just sign right here. Fine, that'll be $7 import fees. Nothing more due until the first installment, payable at the opening of band practice. Now I must get the boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Well, hello, son. Well, certainly his uniform. And there won't be a penny due till delivery, which gives him 4 weeks to enjoy, to anticipate, to imagine at no cost whatsoever. Never allow the demands of tomorrow interfere with the pleasures and excitements of today.
Would it have,
A stripe? Why, certainly, my boy, a big, wide red stripe. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 2 words a day even to us. And if you get him to play in the band, you'll have St. Michael's old way with you. Oh, but if anyone can do it, I'll bet you can. Out of a crowd, I'd pick it for clay pipe smoking, harp carrying, harp playing, Marvin E. pitching, the harp playing, Terrace Hall minstrel singing, be gum and be jammers. Where you from, me boy?
Gary, Indiana.
Oh, I knew it. Oh, what was that again?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Oh, was she now?
Gary Conservatory Gold Medal class of '05. Oh, how to do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
Oh, Peru, I thought the name sounded familiar. I've been trying to see you since the other night.
Marion, he wants to put Winthrop in the band.
We're not interested, Mama.
Oh, but Marion, he might have his father's musical gifts. He has my jaw, you know.
Your husband's musical. I'd like to talk to him, I'm sure that we
burst into everyone's home like this, prying into personal affairs. We're not interested.
But Marion!
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father is dead. Anything else?
I'm sorry. But that's all the more reason your brother should have something like this.
My brother is a 10-year-old problem child who can't understand why his father was taken away. Would you care to explain it to him? Well, he's been brooding about it for 2 years. And as to your musical tricks, why don't you go into business with some nice carnival man who sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Musical tricks? Why, Miss Marion, I hardly think that... You know, I think she likes the idea. Oh, a little cautious, perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Just keep me alive. I'll be back later in the week.
Oh, Professor Hill, about Winthrop's measurements. I make all his clothes. Sleeve 21, waist 18, crotch 40.
Fine, that's all I'll need. No, I must get back to the hotel.
Oh, but Professor, about Marion, she's not really like
Please,
that.
not another word. Well, I'm sure that at heart she's just as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Winnie Peru.
Has he gone?
He has. And I hope not forever. Marion, darling, don't you ever think of your future? Well, Gary Conservatory, class of art 5.
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future doesn't depend on encouraging every self-centered, woman-chasing, traveling man that comes to town. And the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not in this particular case impress me.
All right, darling, all right. But it's a well-known principle that if you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never strike much of a flame.
Mama! Winthrop, I know you're there. Please go to the library and ask Miss Grubb for the book I set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large brown book with black corners.
do I have to?
You won't have to speak to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear.
Well, now what are you up to? What are you getting to the library at this hour of the night?
I have a feeling that the Indiana Journal may help me poke some large holes in the professor's claims.
Oh, darling, all right. But at your age, I'd like to know what kind of white knight you expect to come riding along.
Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Greiner, who backs me into the ancient history shelf every time he comes into the library.
He does?
Or Ed Gammage and that Bucky of his. with the removable back seat. But I'm not waiting for a man in shining white armor either. A quiet man, a gentleman, a straightforward and honest man to sit with me in a cottage somewhere in the state of Iowa, and I would like him to be more interested in me than he is in himself, and more interested in us than in me. And if occasionally ye ponder what makes Shakespeare and Beethoven great, him I could love till I die. Him I could love till I die.
Well, can you meet me after supper?
I can't. It's Everett League tonight. Meet you where?
The footbridge?
You see, isn't that what I just said? Last time the lumberyard and now the footbridge. And where will you meet me after that? In the black hole of Calcutta? Egad!
I only want to show you my new invention.
What invention?
My music holder for my marching piccolo player. Still has a couple of minor flaws. See, when you keep it tight enough to hold the music steady, you cut off your circulation, and you can't wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you can go blind.
Tommy, it's Papa!
Is that the first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes, the very first thing I said or all ate hay with a horse. Get that spellbinder's credentials. I said morning of July 4th, 1912. And now look, my wife's off dancing at all hours instead of in the home.
But George!
The school board is singing up straight and down alley instead of tending to city matters. My oldest girl is boodling around with some wild kid, and my business has fallen off so far I can't find the balance sheet.
Mayor Shin, I found something very interesting in this book about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
His university.
Oh, I know all about that. In fact, that's all I can ever get out of it. Gary Conservatory class of Odd Father.
But if you'll just take time to read a little bit about the conservatory.
Papa! The Wells Fargo wagon is just coming up from the depot!
The Wells Fargo wagon? At this hour of the day? Nonsense. The Wells Fargo wagon.
It could be the band instrument!
The band instrument.
Follow the well.
There you are, Winthrop.
My cognac, thanks.
Kids, you will each receive individual instructions in due course. In the meantime, stay off the streets and get acquainted with your instruments, and think the minuet in G.
La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. La-di-da. Sister, it was plus looking or a thumb. I never got anything but plus gunfly looking. Oh, sister.
Round work for you, Hill. But I better hear some doggone tooting out of them horns in pretty short order, or I'll see you in front of the grand jury over at the county seat. Now, Miss Marion, about that book.
Come, George, tempus fugits.
You watch your phraseology. Get along if you want to. I have to get something from the librarian.
The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights in the high school.
Now, gentlemen, if you're ready. And remember, ladies, don't make me say it again. Always keep your face to the audience. Mr. Dunlop, if you're ready.
It's you in the sunrise, it's you in my cup. It's your sweet melody that sets me up, and it's your got to go, dear, that gets me down. It's you on my pillow, in all of my dreams, till once more the morning breaks through. What words could be saner or truer or plainer than it's you? It's you.
Smile, girls, smile.
Yes, it's you.
Oh yes, it's you.
Please, kid, or Mrs. Chin will have my head.
Mr. Washburn, we are entitled to 5 more minutes.
Well, if you think you can hold these kids back, then you go right ahead. Starter, Mr. Washburn. Wait till you see the new step Professor Hill taught us. All right, what'll it be? The shampoo bee! Now, a little kiss on the very first date is usually a hussy. And a little kiss on the second time out is anything but fussy. And a little wait the third time around, head in the clouds, feet on the ground. She's a girl you're glad you found. She's pure shampoo-bee, 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 shampoo-bee.
Swagger the class again.
Shampoo-bee, shampoo-bee.
daughter.
Papa! Mr. Shin, Your Honor, me and Zanita are going steady behind your back.
Why, you?
We'd rather do it in front of your back.
Do what? Never mind.
Zanita scared you, but I'm not. I should think you'd be ashamed to have your own daughter scare you. Chili Claw!
I'm gonna warn you once more. If I ever catch you touching my daughter, I'll doggone horsewhip you till Hades won't have it again.
Now, George.
Not one poof about you, madams.
I think he means Peep.
Yes. And now get out of this public building.
I have just as much right in a public building as anybody.
Right. How do you get any right around here? Aiding and abetting the swindling activities, the spellbinding symbol salesman. Now get out.
Papa, please! It's Capulets like you make blood in the marketplace! Get out!
You watch your phraseology, young woman. Go home. Eulalie.
Yes, George.
You tend to your dance.
My turn.
I'll handle Zanita. Taking up with kids from the wrong side of town.
Shin, if I could just make you understand.
Well, you can't. And by the way, thanks for nothing. I read that book you gave me from cover to cover for a whole week now, and I haven't found a thing.
Excuse me, Mr.
I'll
Mayor.
settle your hash as soon as I get these premises off my oldest girl.
Fine. But in the meantime, I want you to know I'm vouching for Tommy Giles. Well, the boy's got the confidence of every kid in this town. You'll be standing in line to shake his hand by the time our band plays its first concert.
By the time your band plays its first concert, the members will have to foregather in wheelchairs on account of broken legs they'll get from tripping over their own beards. I'll tell you something, my feathered young. Never mind. Oliver, JC, Ewer, Olin. I want this man's references, and I want him tonight. Don't let him out of your sight. He's slipperier than a Mississippi sturgeon.
Do you mean you want us to get his credentials?
Get his papers or get him in jail. I couldn't make myself any clearer if I was a button hook in well water.
Why, Professor Hill, I think the mayor's behaved abominably. And I think it was wonderful of you coming to Tommy's defense like that.
Oh, it was nothing.
Oh, yes, it was.
Well, no, really. A man can't dodge the issue simply because a little personal risk is involved. What does the poet say? A coward dies 1,000 deaths. The brave man only 500. Besides, the mayor was already pretty upset on account of that pool table business. Well, but I'm sure that a recommendation from a musical authority such as yourself. No, I couldn't ask you to do
Why,
that.
Professor Hill?
You would?
I'd be glad to. I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been wanting to speak to you about Winthrop's cornet.
His what? His cornet? Oh yes, mother of pearl
I'm
keys.
sure it's fine, you see, but he never touches the cornet. Well, the first week or so, he made, a few experimental blats, I guess you could say.
Yes, blats.
He sings, I mean, you went to dee-dee-da, almost constantly.
La-di-da-di-da-di-da.
He never touches the cornet.
He
He tells me that it isn't necessary, and that you developed this think system that if he thinks the minuet in G, he won't have to bother with the notes. Now, Professor Hill,
Miss Mary. Well, the think system is a revolutionary new method, I'll admit. But then again, so is Galileo's conception of the heavens, Columbus's conception of the egg, globe, and Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. Oh, and now I can't go into these things with you here in public. May I call on you sometime? Or when may I call?
why any night this week?
We've just come to tell you that your kind of woman belongs on the downside.
Fairy princess, looking for golden shimmer.
prisoners. We've all been deputized.
Yes, congratulations. You know, all week I've tried to give you fellas my papers and credentials, but you always seem to get off the subject somehow. I have just what you want over at my hotel. Take me just a second.
Sorry, Philip, go along with you.
Yes, let me see if I have my key. What's this? A testimonial from Madame Reaney, the only female bassoon player ever to play on the Red Path circuit. Her stage name, of course. Actually, she was from Moline, Miss Lyda Rose Quackenbush.
Could I just see that from him?
Oh, you'll never forget a name like that. Lyda Rose. Same as the old song. Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose.
To get the sun back in the sky. Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose. About 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bell chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion, I'll pop the question. Lyda Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lyda Rose, now everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Lyda Rose, oh, won't you be my Lyda Rose, oh, Lyda Rose, oh, Lyda Rose.
Professor Hill.
And look, I still have some worms left.
Did you have a good time?
That's it. And he told me all about his hometown, Gary, Indiana. And he said he'd take me there someday. And he taught me a song and a honey
Look, in a minute, I have to fill Amaryllis my life from. La-di-da-di-da-da.
Oh, leave the dishes, Mama. I'll do them.
Oh, but don't you have to dress for the
There's
festival?
time later.
Shins live around here somewhere?
The Shin home is on East Elm. This is West Elm.
Ah, criminy. Oh, I see you're the piano teacher in town. You must know about this fella Hill from the boys' band.
Yes.
Well, don't let it worry you no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Swindle and two-bit thimble rigger. That's why I gotta see Shin.
Who are you?
Name's Charlie Cow. And Bill Salesman. But just now I'm out to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from this swindler.
Well, Mr. Cowell, you're making a big mistake.
Was mistake my old lady's corset cover. That fella's been the raspberry seed in my wisdom tooth just long enough. He spoiled Illinois for me, but he's not gonna spoil Iowa. Say, what kind of music teacher are you? You didn't see through him.
I know all about that. Band leaders are always called professors. It's a harmless deception. Well, he's a fine director in a school.
Now, wait 1 minute. Fine director, have you heard one note of music from any band?
No, but I'm sure.
Nothing, girly girl. He's never formed a band in his life, and he never will.
You just listen to me for a
I'd
minute.
like to. I'd like to do more than that. But I gotta get back to that train, and I gotta leave this dynamite with somebody on the way to the depot. Bye, girl.
You'll never make the train at the depot. You'll have to get it at the crossing.
No, I gotta leave this word, and I see you ain't the one to leave it with.
Oh, just a minute, Mr. Cowell. Well, you don't know me yet.
Is that in?
No, well, I mean, I don't know you, and
Oh,
well.
yes. I need more time anyway.
I mean, as well as I'd like to.
No trouble there, girly girl.
Well, I've never met a man who sells anvils before. That's something quite different.
Well, it takes a real salesman, I can tell you that. Anvils have a limited appeal. What am I doing? If I miss that train, I'll lose my job, and I gotta leave this word about him.
Well, leave word with me.
Not on your tin type. How do I know you delivered these letters?
Try me. There's your train. Now run for it.
Why, you double-dealing little? Who do you think you're protecting? That guy's got a gal in every county in Illinois, and he's taking it away from every one of them. And that's 102 counties. Not counting all the piano teachers like you he cozies up to just to keep your mouth shut. Neither one of you served the last for me, girly girl.
Marion, darling, who was that man? My Professor Hill.
Mrs. Peru, top of the evening to ya, Miss Marion.
Professor, you and Marion come up and sit. I've got some jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on then.
Shall we set, as your mother said?
Well,
You did ask me to call.
did I? Well, I didn't mean anything.
Well, now, Miss Marion, I'm not suggesting that your invitation inferred anything but academic enlightenment. The think system, I think it is. Why, I've been by 2 or 3 times this week to explain it to you. But there always seems to be people around. Mostly ladies, I thought.
Yes, Mrs. Squires and several of the ladies.
Oh, I'm glad. Wouldn't want anybody beating my time. You wouldn't? Why, no, ma'am. Apparently this isn't a convenient evening. I'll see you at the sociable later.
Professor Hill, is it true that you've, had 100? Oh, what I'm trying to say is,
Yes?
is it really true that you developed a think system?
A what? A think system? Oh, yes, a think system. Yes. It's really very simple. As simple as whistling. Well, nobody has to show you how to use your lips in whistling. You simply think a tune and have it come out clearly. Here. Now just try this before you ask any more questions.
No, I take your word.
Could we sit down?
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
All music teachers?
Well, I dare say you meet a dozen, even 100.
Well, now say, where'd you get an idea like that?
Well, one hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Now, Miss Marion, one mustn't believe everything one hears. Well, after all, one hears rumors about librarians.
Well, I suppose you're referring to Uncle Matty.
Uncle Matty?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. Well, no matter what they say, he left me an assured job so that Mother and Winthrop and I would have some security. But surely you don't believe.
Of course not. That's exactly what I'm saying. Why do you think people start those rumors?
Narrow-mindedness and jealousy. Well, jealousy mostly, I guess.
Exactly. And it's jealousy that starts those rumors about traveling salesmen. Why? What have you heard?
Oh, well, nothing about you personally, just generally.
Well, what have you heard generally?
Well, but of course it stands to reason. Well, jealousy and disappointment can lead to, well, take you, for instance, and your attentions to customers. Well, music teachers might be easily misinterpreted, mightn't they? I mean, now, honestly, mightn't they?
Oh, well.
So you say, if another salesman or somebody were jealous, well, they could be downright lies then, couldn't they?
What could?
Rumors and things.
Oh, yes!
So it just goes to show you should never believe everything you hear.
Oh, Miss Marion.
I mean, if you discuss things.
Miss Marion. Well, I'd be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But couldn't we do it sitting down? I mean, you do sit. Your knees bend and all.
Well, we could sit on the porch steps.
We could also sit on the large hollow log over at the footbridge.
Oh, no, I couldn't. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Well, just to talk.
I've got to dress for the sociable.
Then meet me there in 15
no,
minutes.
Please, some other time. Maybe tomorrow.
My dear little librarian, pile up enough tomorrows and you'll find you've collected nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. I don't know about you, but I'd like to make today worth remembering.
Oh, so would I.
The footbridge, 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Mama!
What, dear?
Oh, I just told Professor Hill I'd meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes.
Oh, well, glory be and saints be praised. It works.
What works?
Oh, I've been using the think system on you in the parlor.
Oh, hey, Gregory! The uniforms arrived and the kids are in them already! Now, the people will be screaming for you to get those kids show up to sociable.
Yeah.
Oh, look, here's most of the dough. I got Tommy to collect it. He's trying to hold the kids together, at least by holding a practice over at the lumber yard.
All right, did you get the rig?
Yeah, I got it.
What time's the train leave?
9:40 from the junction.
It isn't even 8:30 yet.
Look, you want to turtle wordle around here and get yourself caught in a bunny trap, you go right ahead, but I'm not gonna...
Look, I'll meet you at the hotel in plenty of time. Now get lost. Miss Marion, you're late.
But you said 15 minutes.
I meant that you were about, well, I'd say about 26 years late. Took you all this time to get to the footbridge with a fella.
If you want to know the truth, it was almost longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. But I suppose I'm not the first to find it easier to think clearly. When not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Now, Miss Marion, surely you don't think that I'm selling you wrong.
No. You've given me something, and that's why I've come.
Well, I don't recall giving
Yes, you have. Something wonderful, and that's why I came. And I'm glad. Please don't think I expect too much more. One can't expect a traveling salesman to stay put. And I know there have been many ports of calling, and there will be many more. But that's no reason why I shouldn't be grateful for what you've left behind for me.
Marion,
There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all, till there was you. there were wonderful roses. They tell me in sweet, fragrant meadows of dawn and dew. There was love all around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all till there was one. All around, but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all till there was
Marion, there's something you don't know about me.
Hey, Greg!
Excuse me. I'm expecting an important telegram from Hector Burlaws. This might be it.
What? Look, who's the salesman here? Sounds like she's selling and you're buying.
Look, I had to keep her off balance. I told you.
She's so far off balance you can't tell her from a cat boat in a hurricane.
Now listen here, Buster Brown. I've come up to the rakes on this little skirmish, and I'm not resigning without my commission.
But Greg, you can't get anywhere out here on this footbridge.
All right, look. There's a place over at Madison Picnic Park that makes this footbridge look like an old ladies' home. I'll meet you there in 15 minutes. Now get lost. Never a dull moment in the music business. Now, where were we?
You were about to tell me what I don't know about you.
Yes, well, we don't have to go into that right now.
Or ever, for that matter, Harold. The librarian hasn't felt like doing much research lately.
Oh?
But she did plenty when you first came.
What about?
About Harold Hill, Gary Conservatory Class of Lot 5. Harold, there was no Class of Lot 5.
Well, why, certainly there
Because
was.
the town wasn't even built until Lot 6. I'll see you at the social.
How long do you know?
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came here. I tore this out of the Indiana Journal with the intentions of using it against you. But now I give it to you with all my heart.
If you knew, why didn't you? Why, you little. Well, 110 cornets played the way, and I modestly took my place as the one and only bass, and I oombad up and down the square.
Good night, my someone, good night, my love.
With 110 cornets close at hand.
Our star is shining, it's bright as light.
There were horns of every shape and kind. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be.
Well, 110 cornets played the air. I wish I may, and I wish I might. Now good night, my someone, good night.
my train, probably lost my job, but I got you now, Hill, and you'll pay. Why, you'd be in the clink right now if it wasn't for that piano teacher. I told her all about you and what she'd do. Lily gags me around so I couldn't see shit. Dried up man, hungry doxy little...
Why, get out of here, you dirty mouth!
Why, you bully, you big bluff, I'll stay in town till you get yours up, down, sideways, and through. Why, you never even knew the territory.
Oh, Greg, here's your stuff. The rig's in the alley. Come on, hurry up!
Can't you get it through your head? You're being swindled out of your teeth right now, this very minute. There's a burglar in the bedroom and you're all fiddling in the parlor. I'm talking about none other than Harold Hill. Road agent, highwayman, pickpocket.
Pickpocket?
Same thing. He's had his hand in your wallet, mister. And yours, missus. And yours, little lady. Ever since the first day he came into this town. There's more documented evidence than you'll ever have time to read. There isn't a band. There never has been a band, and there never will be any band. And if you don't hunt this man down like a mad dog right now, there won't be any Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now, do you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for?
Money back? I want his hide. And when you find him, bring him to the schoolhouse. After him, try the long road.
I had to see you again, Marion.
Oh, don't you know you don't owe me a word, not a word. Oh, please come.
Greg! Oh, he isn't anywhere down here. Let's try him by the creek.
Please go.
Marion, I had to see you again.
No.
Just to tell you that... Winthrop, where have you been, son?
I'm not getting left. Let me go.
Not till I talk to you for a minute.
I won't listen. You will tell the truth anyway.
I would too.
We're not.
I would too. I'll tell you anything you want to know.
You need a band.
No.
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you dead rotten crook?
Yes.
Let me go, you big liar.
Now what's the matter? You wanted the truth, didn't you? Now look, I'm bigger than you and you're gonna stand here and take us. You might as well quit wiggling. Now look, there's two things you're entitled to know. One, you're a wonderful kid. I thought so from the first. That's why I want you to be in the band so you quit moping around all the time.
What band?
I always think there's a band, kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Now that I think about it, the other thing isn't any of your business.
I wish we never come to River City.
Winthrop, no you don't.
Sister, you believe him?
I believe everything he said.
But he promised us.
And it all came true, just like he said. The lights and the flags and the colors and the smells.
Where was all that?
The way every kid in this town walked around all summer and looked and acted. And the parents too. But especially you. Does Mom wish he'd never come to River City?
Well, you do, don't you?
No, Winthrop. Now go, girl, please.
One Professor. Hurry up.
I can't go, Winthrop.
Why not?
For the first time in my life, I've got my foot caught in the door. There was love all around.
but I never heard it singing. No, I never heard it at all till there was you.
Hurry up, they're coming! We gotta get out of here, let's go!
Which is why I interrupted the program at this point. Rest assured this snake in our bosom would have been misapprehended by this time. And always remember, Bell River citizens, I can only remind you that I did everything in my power to prevent this dire happening from, happening.
But what have you done to get our money back?
Yeah, that professor's collected over $300 in uniforms just tonight.
Oh, and I haven't seen any uniforms yet.
He's slippery, I told you.
And I haven't seen any uniforms or my boy either since just after supper. He's a kidnapper. What a situation here.
Fourscore and just a minute. Virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Harold Hill. And if there are those, as I have heard, who are melting tar and collecting feathers, I will not say them nay.
Well, I should think there ought to be some of you who could forget your chip on the shoulder Iowan arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Well, do you remember? Do you? Surely some of you ought to be grateful for what he's brought to River City. And if so, I should think you would want to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there's one person in this hall who doesn't think this man Hill should be tarred and feathered, let him stand up. You lady, sit down.
You lady,
Get up. And the rest of you standing there like a coat of Shropshire sheep. Have you forgotten how you pay for expensive uniforms, instruction booklets, and high-priced instruments? Yep. Have you also forgotten how you declare understanding and warranty that your children would have been taught to play in a band? Well, where's the band? Where's the band? Where's the band? Where's that
Think, kids. Think.